Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Carew Culture. Welcome if you're new here. I'm happy to have you. Today, as part of the Insight series, we have Philip.
Hey guys, happy to be here.
And we're going to be talking about how he secured multiple offers at top investment management firms. We're discussing all things investment management, including asset and wealth management. So let's get into it. So, first question is, what is investment management and the difference between asset and wealth management?
Cool. So investment management is basically just when institutions take money from, it could be private individuals or other institutions, and invest it in the markets to make them a return. So different reasons why they may do this. So for example, a private individual may want to ensure that they keep their generational wealth, and so they give this to an investment management firm to invest in the markets for them. Or, you know, people like me, we all have pensions. Pension funds give the money that we put into our pensions to investment management firms to invest for us. So the difference between asset and wealth management just lies partially in what I said. So asset management, a lot of the clients, a lot of the people giving money to these firms are institutions. So they're normally pension funds, governments, because you know governments also need to invest money to be able to make sure they can meet their debt requirements. Whereas wealth management more focuses on, so the clients are more private individuals. So they're more, you know, the super rich people that you may see in Knightsbridge or Chelsea, wherever, wherever you see these people. So those people are more focused on, it's more focused on a full suite of a service being provided. So not just the investment side of things, but also, like I said, generational planning, you know, tax planning. So that's the difference between the two.
That's so interesting, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's different.
Tax planning, really?
Yeah.
Philip managed to score an internship at one of the world's largest investment banks, JP Morgan. What happened pre-interview? What was that process for you like?
The process before was very interesting. So I definitely have to shout out Rare Recruitment for this, because I went on a coaching program with them where they really, I guess, coached us in terms of how to interview and what we should be looking at. They didn't necessarily spoon feed us, but they gave us the resources to really build our technical skills. So it was a lot of, you know, I was in a group chat with other prospective candidates where, you know, every day we have a question to answer by 6 p.m. even despite the fact that we had uni. So, you know, we'd get asked by one of the Rare Recruitment coordinators, you know, we get asked a question such as, if this happens in the UK economy, what's going to happen to I don't know, the UK stock market or UK bonds? We'd have to give an answer to that. So that was, honestly, the pre-process was more intense than the interviews, but I quite liked it, because one thing I'd say is, if you continue pushing yourself, no matter where you think your competition may be, before you know it, something that you're finding relatively easy, other people may be finding more difficult because of that consistently pushing yourselves. So I think that's what Rare Recruitment were trying to drill into us, and yeah, it worked.
How did you find that interview process?
So it's actually interesting. Not a lot of people know this. So what actually happened was I had a asset management assessment center first, which was quite intense, to be honest. Started at 7:30, consisted of a group exercise, back-to-back interviews, and actually a logical reasoning test, which was hard. And yeah, so after that assessment center, they said that, like, on the day I didn't perform the best, but they still were interested in me. So then I had a wealth management assessment center, and this also was intense. It was a group exercise, and it was just, the group exercise was focused on markets, and basically put you in the shoes of a wealth manager, saying, here's a client, here's, you know, their liabilities in terms of what they need for their family and their goals, their investment goals in the future. Like, how do you suggest they invest, or what would their portfolio be? So that was kind of the group exercise for wealth management. And then we also had 3 one-on-one interviews, back to back, pretty intense. Yeah, but just preparation, to be honest. Like, yeah, it was intense, but I expected nothing less than that, so prepared for it.
If I have any finance questions, anything I need to know about the industry, I always come to Philip, because he knows everything like back of his hand. So Philip, how do you know everything? Because resources are so important for commercial awareness. How do you know, like where do you go to find your information?
So before, I'd say like I did spring internships, it was a mix of just, you know, like Investopedia, so that's a good website to find information, investing.com, and Financial Times. But then ever since, so what, like 2018, May 2018 now, a lot of people ask me the same question, so I actually decided to co-found a platform called Finance Focused, and we basically just are a platform that helps people really understand all the key concepts and key concepts and trends within banking and finance, and just breaks it down in a clear manner. So yeah, we have like over 3,000 people subscribed to our newsletter right now. We have, you know, like over like 100 articles on our website that really just breaks down, you know, key topics, so that instead of reading Financial Times and leaving that feeling confused, you come to our website to really get the basics of what you need to know, and it will help you not just be able to regurgitate something in an interview, but actually use that information to have an opinion, and use that as actionable information. So yeah, that's what Finance Focus is where to be right now, if you want to learn.
Plugging yourself.
Yeah.
No, but guys, honestly, I use Finance Focus and I love it so much, just because it's so simple and it actually explains the technical terms for you. It just doesn't chuck them in a sentence about around 500 other fancy words. You really understand and you can actually form your own opinion. That's why I appreciate Finance Focus, so thank you for creating that. By the way, you are literally the go-to. Guys, I even go to him when I'm freaking about applications. What are your top tips? What makes you so able to secure basically any offer that you want?
Perseverance first and foremost. You're gonna get unlucky in this industry, right? People are gonna reject you and you think you shouldn't be rejected. So one, just persevering, but two, being structured in your approach. So I probably had like a spreadsheet with
this good old spreadsheet.
Yeah, good old spreadsheet with about maybe 70, 80 firms on it, and I kind of listed them in order of preference and priority. So JP near the top, and you know, and I've probably like one not as big name near the bottom, and I worked my way through that spreadsheet, you know, noting when the application opened, when was the deadline, and the stages, the application processes, so I knew what was coming next. I think it's important to do that because I say ideally you want to be applying not too early but not too late. You want to really apply maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks after applications have opened, because it just gives you time to prepare and get familiar with potential video interview questions you may get asked. So yeah, that's what I did, and that's my tips.
What paid off for you.
Yeah, and another thing actually, it'd be really understanding why you want to work at the firm. So not just the obvious, like, you know, JP is the best bank in the world. They know that. they're not gonna care if you say that. But really understanding what is it that resonates with you, like always having a why. So what if, like, if JP Morgan's the best bank in the world? Why does that matter to you? Because it's a great place to learn. Because I'm someone that's always trying to learn. Okay, what else matters to you about JP? Okay, the culture, and when you say culture, again, that's a kind of just a buzzword, but really explain that. So like the culture being, you know, the different initiatives they have regarding diversity, or what they're doing in the community around them. You know, for example, in America, stuff they're doing in Detroit, stuff like that is really that's really going to help you when you get asked competency questions. Another top tip is make sure you really know what's going on in the world. Like commercial awareness is key. I don't think you'll be able to get any front office role without having some commercial awareness, because in any interview they will ask you, what is your opinion on what's going on right now? You need to have an opinion.
You've given us tips on how to secure a job in this division, but what really makes a candidate stand out? Because this is what everybody asks, right? How do I stand out from the competition? Because when you're applying to big firms, massive firms, they're getting at least 3,000 applicants, right? So what makes someone, even from the CV point, come through?
Okay, That's a good question. Break it down into two different parts. So from the CV point, I think it's not actually hard to pass the CV stages. Just making sure your CV is structured, making sure that you have a good blend of professional experience and extracurricular experience, and don't think that any experience doesn't matter. Whether it's retail, whether it's your own personal side hobby that you have, it just shows initiative. So make sure you put that down and make sure your explanation of it is structured. You don't want to be having a bullet point that's 3 lines on your CV, ideally 1 to 2 max. In terms of an interview process and going through it, you can break it down to 2 parts. So you can break it down into, you can stand out by who you are as a person in terms of your soft skills, or you can stand out by what you know. And for certain firms it will differ. So from certain firms, they care more about what you know. They're more geared towards the technical questions. From the other firms, they want to know that they can work with you, and they want to know that even if you don't know certain things now, the positive energy that you'll bring in shows that you want to learn and you will just be a good person to work with. Could you give us a comparison of a firm that would rather, or what type of firm would rather us be an individual that knows more and one that would love personality and I'm a great person? So a lot of them kind of a blend between the two, but if you're going to go into 2 ends of the spectrum, I'd say in examples of summer internships, a firm that more cares about your attitude would be like BlackRock in terms of summers, whereas a firm that more cares about what you know are like your boutiques, for example, I don't know, Evercore or PJT Partners or Lazard. Yeah, I'd say having a good balance between the two is very key. So like I said, being opinionated on markets, but also just being able to really hold a conversation. Like these interviews don't want to, especially me, if I was to be an interviewer, I wouldn't, like, it's cool, you know everything. Or if I just think this guy is so boring or dry, like, I'm not going to want to hire you. So you need to be able to actually, maybe talk to me about when they ask like just about you, talk to them about your hobbies, actually have hobbies, football, sports, reading, maybe, something unique such as collecting watches. But also when they actually ask you more technical questions, be able to hold that conversation. Okay, I think the stock market is going to do this because if you look at this data here, it's showing this. And they may not agree with you, but that shows that you have an opinion and you're knowledgeable. So honestly, that's what you can do to stand out. And when you actually get to the interview process, just be strategic. So try and direct the conversation to your strengths, but don't annoy the interviewers by not answering their questions. That's a common thing that interviewers don't like. They ask you, like, tell me about yourself, and they want to hear about your hobbies and you more broadly, and you start going, well, I've done this qualification, I've collected the CFA, and they're not going to be happy about that. So really focus on the question they're asking, but try and not too obviously play it to your strengths. You scored the JP Morgan Summer Internship. What was it actually like during your summer? Yeah, it was an amazing experience. First week was training with the other interns in asset and wealth management, and then went up to the desk. So I was on a specific desk. I was on fixed income, FX, rates and commodities. Won't go too much into that, but and basically, like, just amazing. Like, I was learning so much. I was doing a lot of research into things and coming up with investment ideas for my desk. I was building models to help clients position their investments in their general portfolio. I was carrying out things to do with financial instruments. I wasn't trading because I wasn't allowed to trade, but as a grad, you're allowed to trade, but not as an intern. So I wasn't trading, but I was watching trades take place, and there's some huge trades, talking like 25 to like 50 million trades. So it was sick. It was just it was fun. Really liked my team as well. Really got on, talking about TV shows all the time. Doing like 5 quizzes to each other in the mornings. Super amazing. Like, I learned a lot, got involved a lot, and it wasn't like some people would say it's challenging. Again, I expected it to be challenging, so I quite enjoy when there's a challenge because it just pushes me to become better and get more knowledge. So like, I had to present at a morning meeting So we have a morning meeting every day at 8. I presented that in front of about over 70 people, and I had to present an investment idea, and that was you know, nerve-wracking before I did it, but when I got on the stage to present, it was fine, it was cool. So yeah, really great experience.
Okay, lovely. I know you've managed to secure a lot of offers, okay? You've had your pick, which is very rare, but I also know the amount of time that goes into these applications is not a joke either. So while she was at university, how did you actually balance studying and applying to companies?
Yeah, that's a great question. Again, if I'm gonna keep it honest, yeah, it's tough. You barely do, to be honest. Like how you got to do it is I neglected uni for a bit, did my apps, my video interviews, went back to uni, caught up, process, cycle, until you get an offer, so you can catch up on uni. That's just how it is. Or if you're more of a
how would you recommend they do it?
If you're more of a structured person, then, you know, I had a friend that would do like, he always did like 9 to 5 in the library, and he'd spend like 4-5 hours in uni and then like 4-5 hours in apps. But the problem with applications, the reason why even if you're structured, it's difficult because they can come and ask you to video into an interview anytime. That's why it's kind of like you kind of have to neglect uni somewhat, because these firms, they don't, you know, I've heard stories, someone said, I can't make that interview, can you do it? Nope, that's it, that was their chance, gone. So it's tough to structure it around uni. You just have to like catch up,
get through it,
or get ahead, and then so you can fall behind. Yeah.
Just get through that season.
Yeah, get through the season still.
Typically when people think about banking and finance, they think about investment banking, the sell side, but investment management is actually quite different. So why did you choose the buy side? Why investment management?
So it's a good point you make. I think a lot of people think about investment banking because that's always what's pushed out there by firms quite a lot. There's not enough emphasis on other areas within banking and finance. Why investment management? If I'm being honest, it's really like, it was work-life balance and the opportunity for career progression. You know, I never say that, don't ever say that in interviews, but yeah, work-life balance and opportunity for progression, because, you know, if you look at the potential pay progression in investment management and the hours you're working compared to investment banking, per hour, don't quote me on this, but per hour I think you probably earn more than investment management, and that's what you care about, per hour, not the top line. Another reason, which this is also genuine, is that I actually enjoy what investment managers do, what asset managers do. I'm someone that really likes economics, and so I've always liked understanding how different dynamics interact with each other and how that ultimately influences decisions investors have to make, and how they can just make more money and make more returns. And literally that's what you do in investment management. You have to take an opinion on something, but before you can take an opinion on that, have the knowledge to understand why your opinion is that opinion, using that to run money, take money in, run money and make money for other people. And that, I absolutely love that, to be honest. And one thing I'd say as well, again, this is my opinion, you know, I don't really care what other people say about this, but I think a lot of the people in the sell side in the investment banks want to actually, a lot of them do the sell side, but they want to make the move to the buy side. So if you look at investment bankers, a lot of them ultimately want to end up in private equity, which is on the buy side. If you look at people in research, a lot of them ultimately want to end up in the buy side, doing buy side research and helping make those decisions. So the buy side is where it's at, because the buy side is, we are the buy side, like we have the money to be able to buy things. But the sell side, they're selling stuff to us, selling services to us. So ultimately, when you look at that negotiation between the two, the buy side will always have, I guess, more negotiation power in a way, because we have the money from investors and institutions and whatever it may be.
And what is one pro and one con you would say about investment management?
So yeah, con, I say one con, but again, taken as a challenge to learn, is the fact that with a lot of investment management roles right now, they're starting to require coding ability, and I've never really been a coder, but yeah, so that's a con, because coding, I see that as something that's quite difficult, but I'm just taking that challenge, by its face and just trying to learn how to code. So that's the con, but to be honest, yeah, that's the only con. Investment management is the place to be.
And that's wrap. So thank you so much, Philip, for coming on to my channel. You have been so insightful. It's been amazing. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.
Later.